then you can, perfect. Cool. And then if you can just lower the music just a little bit lower, like that way we get started because we have. So welcome. This is introduction to chakras. Chakras are energy vortexes that are in your body. A lot of uh, Eastern philosophies use ki or chi or prana to talk a little bit about energy. And then here in the Western world, we talk about the life force energy. So I am a Reiki master. And so, as well as dabbling in yoga and Tantra, I found these energy vortexes to be very, very helpful in my life and really start thinking about those things to the point that I take one chakra a day for me, and there's 7 days in the week, and there's seven main chakras, and I take one a day and sort of take my attention to that chakra and be able to do that. And it's been very, very helpful of me trying to keep my body holistically in charge, as well as trying to keep my hands energetically in charge so I can do the healing work that I do. So today we're going to actually start with the root chakra. It is on um, the base of the spine, uh, pretty much in between the anus and the genitals. There's a perineum, and it sort of radiates in there and encompasses a little bit of the pelvis and stuff like that. So the root chakra or the base chakra is the body's primordial energy center. Its focus is the comfort and care for the physical embodiment. Your root chakra taps into your intentionality, your awareness of your physical being, understanding who you are and how to operate your body allows you to be here in the physical mastery. The ability to safely be who you are, meant to be in this miracle of life on earth. When your root chakra is open, you feel secure, safe, stable, fearless, trusting, and connected to the earth, as well as your friends, family, partners, and coworkers. You can say the following root mantra starts each practice to open the meditation at the end of closure. And there are also uh, perfect thoughts throughout the day that I tend to use. And so I normally take 4 root chakras, and if you want to do it with me, uh, and the root chakra is associated with the element of earth, so it keeps you grounded. And so I like to keep my feet flat on the floor if I can. And Katarina's driving, so that's a little bit different. um, just keep your foot on the pedal. And I say 2 root sort of mantras to myself, and I really resonate it down into um, the area of my pelvic region. And the first one, and I normally say like 3 times to myself, is I trust. So no matter what is going on in my day, I know there's a purpose. And so if you choose to do so with me, we'll take a breath in and we'll vocalize the words, I trust, and take that all the way down to the base of your spine. And then I breathe in again. I trust. And all the way down to the base of your spine. Breathe in again. And I trust. The next one, or the next mantra, or the affirmation that I say to myself is I am supported. And Julie, if you want, you can actually write in the chat. So if Bonnie or Katrina's driving, so I am supported. So I take a deep breath in every morning. On Mondays is when I work on my root chakra. So this works out great. I am supported. I breathe in. I am supported. And I breathe in. I am supported. The next mantra I say to myself, because the root chakra is involved with safety, is I'm safe to be myself. And as I breathe in all the way down to the base of the spine, I'm safe to be myself. And I breathe in. I'm safe to be myself. And I breathe in. I'm safe to be myself. And then the last mantra I say to myself, and it actually makes me grin when I say it and smile. I'm ground down to rise up. I'm ground down to rise up. And I breathe in. I'm ground down to rise up. And I am ground down to rise up. And then one more time, all the way down to the base of the spine. I'm ground down to rise up. Keeping my awareness towards the base of my spine and the root chakra, I imagine a red ball. And I do what I call chakra balls. And so as I am breathing, I breathe down to the base of the spine. So the Gyan Mudra is for the root chakra. So they tend to think that the mind is in the thumb. And so I ground by doing this, like, okay, it's the okay. And I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm there. And so I sit in there and I practice my chakra balls. And the first thing I do is with each of the chakras, I actually rotate in different directions. So as I'm breathing down to the base of my spine, I turn my ball in a clockwise direction. And I take my breath down there. And then I also work in the breath work called Ujjayi breathing or Muladhara, where I breathe in through my nose. I bring it down into my throat, into my chest, into my abdomen, filling my abdomen large if it was a balloon filling with air. And then when I get down to the end, I actually hold my breath for a moment. And I contract my PC muscles. So Kegels is another way of saying it. So the area in between your anus and your genitals. And if I'm feeling highly motivated, I actually pump them to try to bring that energy up. But today I'm just going to sit into that. It's a lot of things here. And then as I exhale, I actually exhale out the Bija mantra LAM, Lam. And what I tend to play with it each day, it differs. When I say LAM, I actually change the tone. So for me, sometimes at the beginning, I start in a really deep tone, like la, and I feel it down. But sometimes I may not feel it, or I may play with it, la, and each day a difference. La. So combining the breath, the sound, and the locking of the bandhas down there, and breathing in. I try to L together. And so I'll do 3 complete breaths in that motion. So I'm breathing in through my nose, into my throat, into my chest, lifting the chest, into my abdomen, fill the abdomen large if it was a balloon, filling with air. I hold my breath for a moment. And then I exhale a long, softening the abdomen, taking the navel back towards the spine, softening the chest, softening the throat and shoulders. And I actually tend to like to exhale through my nose to get the nadis flowing, but a lot of people exhale through your mouth as well. Some believe if you breathe in more than if you breathe out more than you breathe in, you're taking in that oxygen that's vital to live, and you're expelling all the stuff that's not. So we're breathing again in through your nose, into your throat, into your chest, lifting the chest, into your abdomen. Fill the abdomen, enlarge if there's a balloon, filling with air. All the way down to the base of your spine. Hold your breath for a moment. And then as you exhale with the LAM. And Kelly, I'll answer your question in a second. One more time, breathe in through your nose, into your throat, into your chest, lifting the chest, into your abdomen. Feel the abdomen large if it's a balloon, filling with air. Allow that red circle to enlarge as it's spinning, filling with air. And then as you exhale, and there's a question in the chat about, does it matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise? You'll find with any kind of yogic practice or energetic practice, and I have reverse energy, you'll tend to see what works best for you. It's referred to as going clockwise, and then next week I actually do counterclockwise in the next one. But with the balls or the chakra balls, I actually, I'll talk a little bit about that. As I breathe into it, I feel the energy expanding, and I actually start circling in clockwise direction. And I start with the size of a baseball. And I actually picture a baseball. And then as I'm working up into it, there'll be a time where I'm like, okay, I've got enough of that. And I want a denser ball, like a bocce ball or a lacrosse ball, where it's really super hard. And you see the difference down in the groundedness of that. And then I may breathe in like into, a lot of people will say basketball, but I tend to be a soccer ball kind of guy. So I think of a soccer ball and about that size and this swirling down in my root chakra. And I actually do this when I'm healing too. And I send energy out in my hands that way. And then finally in the last moment, I turn that soccer ball into a bowling ball. and think about the density of that bowling ball and how it's spinning. And even here, I'm like sweating now by just spinning my chakra ball. And so that allows me to sort of sit and generate through the day of being grounded and being centered. And so when things hit me sometimes, I really go back to that groundedness and that dense space of the earth and think about that. But like I said, with all of these chakras, people have certain things. So you'll read books, but you'll start noticing when the energy sort of releases, you'll start seeing that. So I gave you a mudra, I gave you some breath work and some mantras. And I always look at breathing. Well, energy brings breath. Breath brings blood flow as I take it down there. And blood flow brings healing. And so that allows healing in that order. And so I tend to do that. So, and before we get started, I have a little meditation to do as well. If you choose to do so, you can find a comfortable spot. Close your eyes if you choose to do so, and just breathe in naturally. Forget about ujjayi breathing and just take a deep breath. I like to breathe in through my nose. You feel it all the way down to your spine. Tense each set of muscles from your feet. So tense your feet, clench your feet, and then relax your feet. Then clench your feet and your shins and maybe your quads and hamstrings up into your pelvis. And then as you exhale, let it relax down towards the ground. As I'm coming up, clench your feet, your shins, your quads, into your abdomen. Then as you exhale, let it just relax all the way down to the center of the earth. And then clench your feet, your shins, your quads and your hamstrings, your abdomen, your chest. And then as you exhale, just relax down into the earth. Then as you breathe in, clench your feet, your shins, your quads, hamstrings, abdomen, chest, arms, making a fist, keeping it nice and tight. And then just relax down into the earth. Then breathing in, clenching your feet, your shins, your quads, your hamstrings, your abdomen, your chest, your fists and your arms, your face, squinting through your eyes, and then relaxing. Continue to just focus on your breath and stay in that relaxed, grounded state. Visualize yourself in a perfect surrounding. You are safe, warm, and secure. Who are the people in this happy place with you? Acknowledge each one. Feel their love radiate as a reddish, golden glow, penetrating every cell of your being, filling you with joy. Imagine your inner mother looking benevolently down on you. Sense her smile enveloping you like a soft cloak. Know that she will never let you down. She is part of you and will always protect you. Approach your inner mother. Hug, kiss, link arms, and enjoy the sensation. Take time to get to know one another. Enjoy the sensation of reacquaintance and trust. Let her give you a present. Examine it, feel it, smell it. Admire the color and shape. If appropriate, taste it. Thank your mother and tell her you will treasure her gift. It is yours to keep and recall every time you feel abandoned or victimized. As you hold your gift, feel the energy of your inner mother's love channeled into your root chakra at the base of your spine. Imagine this chakra as a four-petaled lotus rotating like a wheel. Focus on the smooth motion of the chakra and the warm red glow that fills the part of your body flowing down your legs and connecting you to the earth. Enjoy the reassuring sensations of groundedness, security, and stability. Before bringing your attention back to your everyday surroundings. Julia, if you can put up the first slide, I'd appreciate it. How did that make you feel? If anyone wanted to speak, you can unmute yourself. And if you just want to be grounded in that space, that's good too. So.
My mother was a fucking warrior, and she gave me a shield and a battle axe, and it was awesome. So I'm grateful to her.
And let's see. So, and I'll send these slides to you, these little pictures that I have. And the root chakra talks a little bit about these aspects. And let me see if I can pull it up a little quicker for myself. I added in a bigger piece so I can talk about it. A lot of the movement that I use for the root chakra is a lot of bouncing. I like to tend to bounce. Like I'm sitting there and I bounce. So if we're talking about the root chakra and we talk about the adrenal glands and the fight or flight, and the gonads are part of it as well. But the adrenal glands are probably the basic part of it. Um, if you have like mental lethargy and you have this spaciness in you, sometimes your root chakra is out of balance. And today, hopefully, we'll go through some questions to help you think about your root chakra and be able to um, be aware of those things. Yeah. Obvious. So what archetype goes like this is a victim a lot. If you're out of balance in your root chakra, you can tend to see it in some of the people you may know, is that they tend to be a victim with everything that sort of comes up because they're not grounded into the earth and allowing things to be. And hopefully today when we discover it, we can learn some tools to help it. And as we're done, you can always ask some other tools. There is the elephant is attached to it, and that's why the elephant is there, because it's such a strong animal and grounded to the earth. Food that tends to ground you are the really hearty foods. So sometimes the meats, or even just the really comfort foods. If you don't eat meat, the comfort foods helped sort of resonate that lower chakras in you and keep you to the earth. And some of the stones, and I really cherish crystals and stones. And when things are going bad, sometimes I may put stones in my room and you get to sense them. So for me, bloodstone is like one of the ones I use a lot to ground. And black onyx, I actually use in my healings with people. And it tends to get good results for people to just be grounded in what they are. Rose quartz is another one. If you do see some wands that people use for themselves, you'll find a lot in black onyx, and you'll find a lot in rose quartz, and some in jade, which are all, yeah. So the life lesson that the root chakra is trying to tell us is really being oneself and standing tall and finding the groundedness in what we are and what we're doing. And so we'll work a little bit on that today. And normally, the developmental age is the young years, 1 to 8. And as we start going through the chakras, you'll start noticing, wow, at 8 years old, what did I do? Or at 1 year old or 2 years old. I mean, babies, where do they end up most of the time when they come out and mom has them and doesn't want to hold them, right? They end up on the floor and being down on the ground and being those four-legged creatures that we have that's in touch with the earth. And then as they get older, they begin to stand. So the goals here are physical health, groundedness, stability, and security. So we all spend a lot of time in our physical health and working out, and that fires this stability. How do you feel when you work out? You know, you feel, Kelly, I think said today, strong and powerful, right? The strength comes from the earth. So any questions with any of those things? And like I said, you don't have to write them down because I'll send them to you in an email. No? All right. And would you like to show the other slide? Yeah, the root chakra is called Muladhara. You'll hear that a lot, but for our instance, root or support. It's on the base of the spine, in between the anus and genital. Associated with red, the element is earth. And if you're into planetary stuff, Saturn is that. So, all right. So, that being said, if you choose to do so, we're going to, instead of putting people in breakout rooms, if you're okay with that, we can go over the questions with each other. So I'd like to form questions for you so you start to resonate and feel that in your body. And so today we have 5 questions that we are going to go over. And each of those questions are based on the root chakra, but it also has to do with some categories. So the first question, and let's see. Oops. The first question we're going to talk about talks about our patience, and our root chakra is also based to our patience. And Julio will, if you can, put it in the chat for us too as well. And here's the questions. And since we're not leaving the room, it can just be in the chat and we'll be okay. The first question is, think back to time when you became impatient. How did your body feel? What was causing that feeling? What are the things that can develop around that and become more patient? And then name 2 things that you dislike waiting for. And how can you ease that impatience to finding the goodness for the moment? And we can, there's not too many of us, so we can go through that. So once again, think back to a time when you became impatient, and how did you feel? And if anyone wants to begin, they can just unmute if it resonates with them, or we'll take some time to sit into that.
When I was a kid, I used to throw the most epic temper tantrums to the point where I would fling myself on the ground and scoot. And that's how I identified myself for so long. And now people tell me I'm extremely patient. So I think that's really interesting to think about.